everyone, and we are here again for a new episode of the Figure Out English podcast for English learners. Please go to our YouTube channel to watch the videos of the episodes with the full transcript and subscribe to the podcast updates. And let's go! Hello everybody, and this is episode 35 of our Figure Out English podcast. Can you believe it? And I like this number so much. 35 episodes. We have been through 2 seasons, and of course next year we will be recording more and more of them because it seems you like them, guys. Thank you very much for all your messages, for all your support, for all your comments and shares. We really appreciate that you like us. Please continue following us. Please listen to us on the podcast app, watch us on YouTube, and I hope you enjoy it even more in the future. Today, it's a great time to talk about pronunciation. Yes, I understand the format of the podcast. Maybe it is not the best way to learn pronunciation, and I will explain why a little bit later. But I think if I tell you about the best ways and methods of improving your English pronunciation, you will only benefit from that, right? Yes, I know that pronunciation is a big trouble, right? And all the tests I receive, you can do the free English level test on our website, by the way. Yes, go to storedart.com and find the link and send me the test. I will have a look and probably we will talk. And yes, the opinions, the comments, everything I hear, people often ask about pronunciation. First of all, let's think a little bit. What exactly do you mean by pronunciation? And what exactly do we teachers mean by pronunciation? Because I've realized throughout the years that we sometimes mean absolutely different things. I suggest we use 2 different terms for that. So there is accent and there is pronunciation. These are 2 different things, and depending on your goals, depending on what you want to do, you will either concentrate on one of them or both. What's the difference? First of all, pronunciation, it is what we all start with. And I believe we really should start with basics of pronunciation. Pronunciation, it is how the sounds are pronounced in this particular language. For example, the difference between Russian r, when I say ryba, and for example, English r, when I say run. These are basically 2 different letters. In Russian it is a consonant, in English it is a semi-consonant. And you need to understand the difference. That's why when you start learning a new language, and this is my perfect plan, when we start learning English, on our first steps, we understand which sounds of the language are similar to your own, to what you are used to pronouncing, and which ones you need to acquire. You need to learn how to say because they are absent in your language. And usually with English, it is the sounds like r, w, th. So this confusing sounds which we don't like. For Russian speakers, it could be a, o, which are absolutely different from the Russian ones. So you need to switch to a different system, and you need to learn how to pronounce these simple sounds as soon as you start learning the language as possible. And the second thing which is included in pronunciation, and which is very, very important to do, it is to read the words, right? First, you learn to read the sounds, then you go on to words, and then you continue with learning to read the phrases. Because first of all, the trickiest thing in English, letter combinations. One letter can be read in 4 different ways depending on the position. This is the most confusing part of English language. That's why we often say that English is a bit difficult to learn, right? And this is really important to deal with. Why? The first thing is because people will not understand what you say if you don't know how to pronounce the words correctly. they will be expecting a different combination of sounds, and then when you say something, they will be like, what did you say? Can you repeat it? What did you say? And this is confusing. This is why you start feeling bad about your English, because people ask you to repeat the simple words. The second thing, when you start learning the longer words, for example, ambitious or adventurous, and there are different letter combinations again and again, if you mispronounce them in the phrase, again, people will be asking you to repeat. The second problem concerned with mispronunciation of the words and phrases will be that you will not actually hear these words from listening. When students come to me and they say, help me with listening, help me to understand native speakers better. And I realize after a while, we see that sometimes the problem is really, like in most cases, the problem is really that they expect to hear a different word. So if you expect to hear ambitious, like you are trying to say it, for example, and I'm not mocking you really, but I understand in some languages you read all the letters which are written, right? Not in English. You will never hear ambitious, because you will lose this second part of the word, you will not understand that. And from here, a lot of problems will be arising. So you see, just a small thing, pronunciation of sounds, words, and phrases, but from here, you actually can get stuck. And this is very important to deal with. And yes, you need to solve this problem for yourself. And for that, I am ready to help, because really we have collected so much material helping people to improve their pronunciation, okay? And this week, I am inviting you to join our free pronunciation challenge. We are going to work intensively with your pronunciation for 4 days at the very beginning of November, starting from the 2nd of November. And throughout these 4 days, we will be working with the most problematic zones of saying words so that you could understand them and you could say them correctly. That's why please come. We have done it before. To this year, it is promising to be even more exciting because we have added a lot of practical activities. Follow the link in the description. Sign up for free, and then you will start practicing with us, and then I will be telling you about the whole course which we have recorded around that. It's called Say It Right. Say It Right in English. I am telling you about everything you need to know to speak English properly. And by properly, I mean with correct pronunciation. Everything I have just described to you. So correct pronunciation, it is when what you say matches to what the native speaker expects, or any person who is listening to you. And when what you expect to hear matches to what they say. You understand? Yes? I mean, these signals should be matched, and in this case you will not have any communication problems. This is that part of pronunciation which influences the result of your conversations and your communications. But there is another aspect to pronunciation which is called accent, and this is what many people think is pronunciation. Yes, because accent, it is the general combination, of different sounds and intonations in the language, how you produce it. Basically, I would say that it is the sum, yes, it is the combination of your own native language, what you are used to, and how you use it for speaking English. And that's why, based on that, yes, we get some typical type of sounding from a person, from a group of people, yes, from people from a certain country or region, for example. This is how accent arises. It's just people do this way and that this way. And we are talking about British accent, we are talking about American accent, and we are talking about Indian, for example, accent, Australian accent, which is some modified British accent, and so on and so on. Well, here, the difference in sounds, the difference in pronunciation of words, it is just a little bit vague. It is not so clear, meaning that it doesn't prevent people from understanding each other. If the accents are not too different from each other, are not too distant, yeah? For example, a speaker of American English understands a speaker of a British English, well, without any problem, yeah, without any trouble. And this thing, like here, we deal with the muscle memory. This is how you are doing it automatically. And that's why English learners often ask, I want to sound British, I want to sound American. I really can tell you that it's very difficult to do because, yes, all these automatic processes, they form in your early childhood, and if you try to do it as an adult, as a student or as an adult, you will really need a lot of time to do that. To reshape your whole muscle memory. And from that, the question arises, do you really need to do that? You have noticed I am not a native speaker of English, but I pronounce the basic sounds the way that everybody who speaks English will understand and decipher, the right way. I am quite understandable. I have no communication problems. But yes, I sound in this unique way with the combination of my native language, with the combination of all the languages I speak, but I don't see a problem in that because you can understand me, native speakers can understand me, and it's just what makes me unique. I don't need to look British. I wouldn't want to look British because this is my identity. This is who I am. A foreigner who has mastered English up to the proficient level. Well, don't you think it's a good achievement? I think if you have achieved the same, you will feel the same good. And that's why, really, when you are learning English, without changing your identity completely, you're not changing your nationality, you're not moving country and stuff like that, you need to master pronunciation, and then your accent will be nice to hear because you will be getting the basic sounds of English right. People will be understanding you, and this accent will be just a unique feature of you as a person. And from what we know about English and about the perception of English, I often hear when native speakers say, you have a very nice accent. And we don't have a problem, the world doesn't have a problem with people having accents. You need to understand that. People have a problem when you have pronunciation mistakes, when it's very difficult to hear you. When it's very difficult to listen to you. When you break the meaning. If you don't have pronunciation problems, your accent will just add some spice to your personality. This is how it works, and I will be talking more about that during our free challenge. That's why please follow the link in the description, or you could check our Say It Right course on Skillshare, for example. I will give you the link here too. And yes, I will be telling you about the instruments which you could use, the apps, the best internet materials which you want to use to improve your pronunciation. even accent, because yes, if you want to sound more British, you could of course spend some time on that and work with that too. And I hope to see you on my live sessions for the challenge. Join us, it is going to be very much fun. I hope you like it, and please share this info with your friends if they want to improve their English too. Thank you very much for listening, and see you guys in our free pronunciation challenge. Thanks for listening. You can find all the episodes on figureoutenglish.com. Happy learning!